Welcome back, Focus Learners. I am absolutely thrilled you're here for another explainer, because today we are unpacking the true hidden driver of e-commerce profitability. Have you ever had that sinking feeling where your sales are completely skyrocketing, but you check your bank account and it just doesn't reflect that growth at all? Well, you are in the exact right place. We're taking a deep dive into our source material to decode operating expenses. They're essentially the silent partner in your business that ultimately dictates what you actually get to take home at the end of the day. Okay, let's breeze through our roadmap for today. We'll kick things off by defining what operating expenses actually are. Then we'll compare them with other business costs, dive into some fresh 2026 e-commerce benchmarks, explore strategies for managing your OpEx, and wrap up with our final thoughts. I want to start by addressing the central tension of this whole explainer. Look, we live in a business culture that is literally obsessed with top-line revenue. Revenue gets all the spotlight, right? It gets the flashy screenshots on social media. But here's the reality check. Revenue just determines if you're busy. It's your operating expenses, your OpEx, that quietly determine if you're actually profitable. While you might be distracted by gross sales, your OpEx is in the background deciding how much cash actually stays in your pocket.
Section 1. What are operating expenses? Let's build our foundation.
By definition, operating expenses are all the ongoing, everyday costs required to run your store entirely outside of actually making the physical product itself. So this excludes your cost of goods sold, your COGS, and it excludes non-operating costs like taxes or financing. Think of it as absolutely everything it takes just keeping the lights on and the virtual doors open. We're talking about your advertising spend, your software tools, Shopify apps, fulfillment center fees, rent, payroll, and those payment processing charges. Tracking this specific bucket of costs is absolutely crucial because it shows you exactly how much of your revenue is being eaten up merely by the act of operating your business.
Now, what's really interesting is how we can separate these costs into two distinct buckets, fixed and variable. Understanding this is vital for seeing how your spending behaves as you scale. Fixed operating expenses are your baseline. They stay mostly the same every single month, whether you have a record-breaking sales week or a totally dead one. Think software subscriptions, your core team salaries, and office rent. Variable operating expenses, on the flip side, move up and down with your sales volume. When your business activity heats up, these costs go right up with it. That's your ad spend, 3PL fulfillment fees, shipping costs, and of course, those pesky payment processing fees.
Let's ground this in reality with a simplified breakdown for a sub-$1 million D2C skincare brand. Say they generate $100,000 in revenue. After their product costs, they've got a really healthy $70,000 in gross profit. Awesome, right? But watch what happens next. You factor in $25,000 for Meta and Google Ads, $1,600 for software and Shopify apps, and another $16,900 for payment processing, 3PL, and salaries. Suddenly, you've hit $43,500 in total operating expenses. That means their OpEx ratio is 43.5%. It aggressively chews into that gross profit, leaving them with an operating income of just $26,500. It's a pretty stark illustration of how much cash is consumed just keeping the machine running.
Moving into Section 2, comparing OpEx with other financial metrics so we know exactly what it's not.
First up, OpEx versus CapEx, or capital expenses. This comes down to timing and assets. Operating expenses are recurring monthly costs that you record fully and immediately. You pay for it, you expense it right then and there. CapEx, though, involves one-time, major investments in long-term assets. Those hit your balance sheet and are spread out over several years through depreciation. To put it simply, buying a $40,000 industrial packaging machine, that's CapEx. But paying the $400 monthly software subscription to actually run that machine, that is your OpEx.
Next is the classic mix-up, OpEx versus COGS, or cost of goods sold. COGS is the direct cost of producing or sourcing the physical product itself. OpEx is the cost to run the business that sells that product. Our source material offers a brilliant, simple test for you to use. Ask yourself, if you sold absolutely 0 units this month, would you still have to pay this expense? If the answer is yes, like your rent or a software subscription, it's an operating expense. If the answer is no, like raw materials for a physical product, it's COGS. That is a golden rule right there. Definitely keep it in your back pocket. Section 3. 2026 e-commerce OpEx benchmarks. Let's see if you're spending too much. I really need to urgently emphasize this specific target range.
According to the 2026 data, most healthy e-commerce brands keep their total operating expenses between 25 and 40% of their total revenue. Now, if you are an aggressively high-growth brand, heavily funding customer acquisition, sure, you might briefly push up into the 45 to 55% range. But the data makes one thing crystal clear. If your OpEx is sustained above 55%, something in your business model is fundamentally broken.
The hard data from across the industry in 2026 gives us an amazing multi-source reality check. For instance, Shopify's public Q2 guidance puts total OpEx right in that sweet spot at 35 to 36%. The Ecom CFO report notes that large DTC brands are keeping fixed marketing down to just 1.66% of revenue. WebFX data shows the median customer acquisition cost is currently sitting at $156. And maybe the most telling stat, data from over 5,000 stores via TrueProfit reveals that a genuinely healthy net profit margin, after all these expenses are completely deducted, lands between 15 and 30%. If your margins are lower than that, your OpEx is very likely the culprit.
Section 4. Strategies for managing OpEx. Let's turn these insights into action.
So how do we fix this? Our source lays out 2 direct strategies. Step 1 is all about timing. You absolutely must gain real-time visibility into your spending. Waiting until the end of the month to check your spreadsheets is a total trap. By then, the money is already gone. You need to watch your ad spend, software costs, and payroll drift day by day. Step 2 is to automate this tracking. Manual entry just leads to errors and sucks away time you should be using to grow. Leveraging automated tools like TrueProfit mentioned in the source pulls all these numbers together continuously. It forces you to look away from the vanity metric of gross revenue and stare right at the actual bottom line net profit.
Section 5. Final thoughts on OpEx. Let's bring it all together.
To summarize the core message we've unpacked today, operating expenses are the absolute backbone of how your business runs. You can have incredibly strong sales, literally record-breaking revenue months, and still struggle to survive if your OpEx is out of control. True profitability isn't just about making the sale. It requires connecting your revenue, your direct product costs, your marketing spend, and your daily operating costs into one clear, unified view. Real-time visibility is hands down the ultimate shield for your profit margins.
Which leaves us with this final provocative question that I want you to take back to your business right now. Are you just growing revenue? Or are you actually growing what you keep? Take a really hard look at those operating expenses, apply that zero-unit test we talked about, and make sure your business isn't just busy, but actually profitable. Thank you so much for joining me today, Focus Learners. Keep tracking those metrics, stay structured, and I will see you in the next explainer.